Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.
On Friday, January 19, 2024, St. Mary Parish deputies Lieutenant Chad Wilson and Sergeant Ashley Wilson were providing security at a local high school basketball game. Unfortunately, towards the end of the game, referee Kevin Domain suddenly collapsed on the court, suffering from an apparent medical emergency. Lieutenant Chad Wilson and Sergeant Ashley Wilson immediately responded to the crisis and began conducting CPR on Mr. Domain. Seeing the need for assistance, the school's athletic trainer, Wydrick Harding, also joined Lieutenant Wilson and Sergeant Wilson in their life-saving efforts. As God commonly puts us in places where we're needed the most, New Iberia Police Department Sergeant Dacia Hughes happened to be in the stands as a spectator for the game. Seeing that she needed to transition from spectator to emergency responder, she immediately made her way to the court to render assistance. And if that wasn't enough to believe that there was divine intervention that day, there was another New Iberia Police Department officer at that game. This officer, Sergeant Craig Lewis, was the other game referee opposite of Mr. Domain. This group of heroes then began working together to manage the crowd and provide aid to Mr. Domain. A short time later, a Canadian ambulance arrived on the scene. Paramedics Sean Dennis and EMT Caleb Trahan took over with more advanced life-saving measures, which also proved crucial to Mr. Domain's survival. Mr. Kevin Domain was eventually stabilized and transported to the hospital for further care. We're very grateful that he and his wife Karen are here with us today, as well as the numerous first responders who were instrumental in his survival. Today, we'd like to recognize the heroics of those people that helped to save Mr. Domain's life. You know, I think this is it's a testament to the officers, not just the ones that were working the game that day, that were providing security because they got called into a capacity, not that what they were there for to provide security, but all of a sudden they had to render life-saving aid to someone, which is the job of an officer, is that you may have to transition through your shift, through your day, from second to second, minute to minute, to provide whatever it is that the community needs. And seeing that there was a need for assistance, even when not working, we had officers at that game who jumped in to help out. Now, as a representative here, Chief Todd Dalbar from New Iberia Police Department would like to say a few words.
Not only am I part of the New Iberia Police Department, but I also officiate for the High School Basketball Association with Mr. Domain. So I see both sides of it. But what it's a testament to today, as when there's a medical emergency, these emergency responders all kick into a gear. They utilize their training, their experience, and all the things that they've learned over many years of being in these split-second decisions, and just go into that autopilot per se and give the aid needed to save lives. And there's no greater day for, I know, the ambulance personnel, the fire personnel, school personnel, and law enforcement, that you're able to save a life. There's no greater day. And, you know, it's, I mean, how proud is it that Mr. Domain gets to see another day with his family? Because, you know, those tragedies happen around us in and every day that we see, you know, people dying of a tragic event or whatever that may be, where their families don't get a chance to say how much they love them, whether it's from that person or the family to them. Now it's that opportunity where everybody always wishes to have that one extra day, to have that loved one back, to be able to say how you really feel. And this is an opportunity for Mr. Domain to have that, and these responders to show exactly what they represent in themselves. Because when they take the oath for those positions and the services, the emergency services that they provide, They take an oath to because it's a calling. It's not just an oath, but it's a calling. And that's what people don't see a lot of times behind the badges and behind the EMT certificates and all the training that they receive is actually why they got into it, which is because they care. They care about seeing that extra day with that person that they can be a part of that life-saving measure. So I'm proud of our 2 officers, but I'm proud of the whole group because, as John and I both talked about in the past, that size and the different configurations of the badge and the patches really don't matter because we're all in one job and one calling, and that is to be a part of saving people's lives.
First of all, I want to apologize because I'm not a public speaker. That's why I referee basketball games. We get to blow a whistle and point. As the person who was saved that day, I just want to thank everyone here, and I'm sorry I don't have the words to articulate how much it meant to me and my family. Because of you guys, a husband, a father, a grandfather, and a son are still here with my family. I get to do a lot of firsts that I haven't done before. I'll get to see my youngest son get married next year. I got to see Chris's first playoff game. So I get to do a lot of things that I enjoy because of the selfless act that these men and women chose to do when they decided to choose careers that serve others. And for that, I'm forever grateful. Thank you.
You said you really didn't have the words to speak, and I think you nailed it. And, a lot of times people ask, why do police officers, emergency responders do what they do? And there you have it. I think he summed it up quite well, is to provide aid and assistance and to help those in need so that they can be there to change people's lives.
The biggest reward is just being able to meet him and be able for him to tell us how we gave him more time for his family and everything.
It was great just to see how grateful he is, how grateful the family is, and that's the real reward.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.